The news at 7 starts with several stories, all of them breaking right now. A huge building collapse in Northwest D.C., and this happened as strong storms moved through our area this afternoon. A construction worker was trapped in the rubble. Rescue teams pulled him out. He's recovering at the hospital now. Several other workers were injured, and this just in. Brand new video from a nearby surveillance camera. See that? That is the moment that condo building collapsed. It's been one incredible afternoon, and it's now evening. I'm Leslie Foster.
Good to see you. I'm Lorenzo Hall. We have been keeping a close eye on this story for hours now, covering it live right here on WUSA 9. Now, here's the good news tonight. Everyone hurt in that collapse, all 5 people will survive. And we know this could have had a much different ending.
That's right. This was a building under construction on Kennedy Street near 9th Street in Northwest. The investigation into how this happened is just beginning, but we're digging deep on this big story. Matthew Torres has more on that new video of the collapse. John Henry spoke to someone who was next door when all of this happened. But we begin with Mike Valerio with everything we know about the investigation right now. Mike?
And Leslie, where that investigation stands right now, fire officials are trying to make sure that the pile is safe so that they can go underneath it, they can go on top and see how exactly this happened, what structural failure led to this collapse. So as we push in and show you the latest, we actually were able to speak with a neighbor who lives behind this pile just a couple minutes ago, and he was saying, Leslie and Lorenzo, how at 3:30 he could hear people who were moaning inside. 4 of those workers managed to get out on top of the pile and be escorted down by firefighters. But as you know, as we've been watching for the balance of the afternoon and into the evening now, there was that one worker, and the neighbor said he was able to hear him beg for mercy from God and just ask time after time that firefighters would take their time and rescue him as soon as possible. You know, earlier today, Leslie, we had an opportunity to speak to several of the firefighters who were intimately involved in extricating the man. Take a listen to what one of the firefighters told us as soon as he locked eyes on the person who was trapped.
He was in a little tiny void at the very end when we finally got down that last layer. He was pinned between those wooden joists you can see up there, and the plywood was actually touching his back. So once we got that out, he got air and he was able to see us. We were able to communicate. I mean, the first thing he asked for was water. He's like, "Can I get some water? You know, it's hot out here."
And he asked, "Could someone call his mother?"
Yep.
Yeah, you know, if you couldn't hear at the end of that soundbite, one of the firefighters off camera said he asked for somebody to call his mother. His mother has been called. We're able to confirm that. But, you know, Leslie and Lorenzo, I continue to be so struck with the narrative of this story, how the person who was trapped underneath that pile, while firefighters were trying to get him out of there, there was a back and forth. The worker was saying, "Hey, don't step there," or "Don't pull that part of the wreckage down because I don't think it's stable." So it was really a team effort of everybody involved. We had 12 men and women who were on top of the pile at any one time, and the person who was taken out. And I'm also told by neighbors who live behind, Matthew Torres can speak more to this in a couple seconds, that he was moaning. He was in severe pain, a remarkable moment that he was pulled out of the pile. So bottom line, investigators are trying to mark this pile safe so they can figure out what failure led to this collapse. Leslie and Lorenzo, let's send it back to you.
A lot of grit out there and a lot of gratitude after this day. Thank you so much, Mike.
All right, we have more breaking developments on this tonight. We showed you this at the top of the show. Look at the top right corner of your screen there. Nearby home surveillance video showing the moment that building came down. Our Matthew Torres just obtained several of those videos tonight. He joins us live from that collapse site with much more. Matthew, it's one thing to see that rubble. It's another to actually see it collapsing. My goodness.
That's right. The video is just really giving us a better idea of what happened, especially the weather condition. It was really just raining at the moment when we look at those surveillance videos, but we are now just on the other side of this wreckage where it has really quieted down. And we do know an OSHA investigator is here at the scene right now, as some neighbors are really just spending their time trying to soak this all in Talk about a crazy sight. But let's take a look at that video that we did obtain. As you see at the corner of your screen, that really collapse happening. You see the wood just flying because of this. And as soon as that happened, obviously this startled a lot of neighbors, some of them coming out. I'm told at least one of the workers in a nearby home walked out, started going down, one even carrying a ladder with him just to see what they can do at this very moment, just to give an idea of just how quick this all happened. But it gives us, at least this video, an idea of this collapse happening. And with me right now is actually Dio, who lives right next door. And you actually sent me a video. You can actually hear this happen. Describe that moment.
Yeah, it was scary. I mean, I heard it. Initially, I thought it was thunder or something like that. But then obviously, once I came outside and saw it, I was flabbergasted. So.
And what did you see as soon as you stepped out?
The building was collapsed. And, EMS was here within minutes. I mean, they did a fantastic job. Emergency response was amazing.
And how would you describe what was happening with all the people trying to help?
I was very chaotic. I mean, I came out, offered help, but obviously they had it covered. There were, I don't know how many fire trucks or ambulance. I mean, and they did an amazing job, really, yeah.
Well, Dio, thank you again, and we're just really glad that none of the neighbors were hurt. If one of the video, you can actually hear the man trapped yelling for help. It just gives you the idea of the gravity of the situation and how dire it was. Back to you.
Oh yeah, Matthew, thank you so much. Glad everyone is okay and survived it all.
They will live to tell a powerful story. Let's get to John Henry. He spoke to other neighbors about what they saw when that building came down. What are they telling you, John?
Well, Leslie, I actually talked to one man who was in the building right next door to 916 Kennedy when it collapsed. You can see that green building right here behind me. He was inside of it at the time of the collapse, but luckily he's okay. He said it gave him quite the scare. He heard a large boom. Now, he and his wife said both had concerns about the property that collapsed. They said they had actually went to the district government to complain about it because they thought it was infringing on their property all the way back to 2019. But they say nothing was ever done about it. They say DCRA was non-responsive. Now, they can't get into their property right now because of this investigation. Here's Edward Constable with more on what it was like to be inside his residence during that incident.
I was on the top floor. I was actually sleeping at the time when this happened. Huge boom and unbelievable that, and frightening. I can't believe that this happened in any form or fashion.
Now, we went through district property records to find the developer of that site. We found a phone number, we called it, then we asked if that person had anything to say in regards to the complaints of the neighbors at 914 Kennedy. That person said no comment. We've also reached out to DCRA to see if there's anything they have to say about this. We're still waiting to hear back from them.
Well, one thing is clear, somebody has to answer for this, and luckily the 5 people who got trapped in it all will live another day. John Henry, thank you.